Tonight, there's a fight to keep Norfolk Southern in Norfolk. City leaders met with the railroad executives today. There are reports that Norfolk's only Fortune 500 company could move south to Atlanta. 1,000 employees could leave as part of any deal. Reporter Allie Weatherton has more on the possible implications.
It would be devastating if they would leave Norfolk.
State Senator Lionel Sproul Sr. is talking about Norfolk Southern. He says the whole region needs to come together to make sure the Fortune 500 company doesn't go anywhere.
We can persuade them to stay. Whatever can be worked out, whatever the problem could be, hope that we can work it out.
The company said in a statement, in part, quote, Norfolk Southern is in the process of developing its next long-range plan. That effort is considering many courses of action, including the possibility of consolidating headquarters into a single location. And according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, a senior state official said that Norfolk Southern is scouting Atlanta for new headquarters.
And looking for the best place for travel, transportation, workforce, and their future.
ODU economics professor Robert McNabb says losing Norfolk Southern and all its people would have economic impacts and a lot of other effects on the Hampton Roads community.
They're skilled. They tend to be higher compensated. In other words, they make more. They're more involved in the community. They're more involved in helping shape the region.
And we reached out to Mayor Kenny Alexander. He declined to comment for the story. Norfolk Southern has a long history in Norfolk. In 1884, the company then called South Carolina Canal and Railroad opened Pier 1 in the Mermaid City. Nearly a century later, 1982, Norfolk Southern officially formed. 6 years after that, the headquarters in Norfolk opened. Since then, it's become one of the largest rail companies in the nation, employing more than 30,000 people.